not necessarily reflect those of station staff, management, and advertisers.
It's time for the most interactive radio program in Las Vegas today. It's time for Pushing the Limits with Brian Shapiro. Brian will talk sports, politics, entertainment, and anything that matters to you. Feel free to call Brian at 702-221-7283.
You want answers? I want the truth!
Now, Pushing the Limits, here's Brian Shapiro.
All right, what's happening, everybody? A very happy Monday to all of you. Hope everyone out there had a really good weekend. I certainly had a very interesting one. We will be getting to that. Thanks for joining us, man. You could be listening on the FM AM dial, KSHP here in Vegas, or perhaps the Occupy Democrats Network, the Washington Press Network. We're on Twitch, we're on YouTube, we're on X. We are everywhere, and we appreciate you making us a part of your day. Also, my new website is up, which is pushingthelimits.live. That's pushingthelimits.live. We have all the episodes up there recently. Also, some merchandise and some cool stuff up there. You can also sign up for my newsletter. Let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to have a lot of fun today. So let me start off by setting the scene for you. I requested a media credential through the Donald Trump campaign, and they gave me one. I was on the fence whether I was going to go to the rally yesterday in Vegas, the Klan rally. I'll get to that. Hold your horses. Why I call it that. I went to a concert Friday night, and I had a very late evening. I was up till like 3 o'clock in the morning. So I go to sleep thinking there's no way I'm going to go to the rally. Do I really want to go anyway? It's going to be like 110 degrees out there, and who wants to hear Cheeto Jesus speak and mumble? I wake up at 10:30 in the morning, get some sleep, and I'm getting messages from people. Where are you? Are you going to the rally? We want you to be at the rally. So eventually I get my fat ass out of bed, and I show up right when Donald Trump is starting to speak. So it was close to noon that I showed up at the rally. Very hot, very uncomfortable, no cold water anywhere. There were some people handing out warm water, which really isn't going to help you when it's over 100 degrees outside. And MAGA gear everywhere. So I have some footage that I'm going to play for you, and I put up some videos on social media that have certainly gone viral. I'll get to that in a couple minutes. That's my favorite part of this, so hold your horses. We'll get to that in a couple minutes. But I do want to play you a little bit of this Klan rally, so to speak, for lack of a better term. One of the deplorables that was at the rally yesterday that I don't think anybody takes seriously is Moscow Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's got about a 20 IQ, and she is trailer trash. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, she said a lot of ridiculous things, but this is the point of her speech, because she's the fluffer to Donald Trump, where she compared Donald Trump to Jesus. Folks, I am not making this stuff up. Have a listen.
The Democrats and the fake news media want to constantly talk about, oh, President Trump is a convicted felon. Well, you want to know something? The man that I worship is also a convicted felon. And he was murdered on a Roman cross.
Yeah, that's very intelligent. Let's compare Jesus Christ, murdered on the cross, to Donald Trump. Tell me this isn't a cult. These are the people that back Donald Trump the strongest. Idiots like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is a despicable, ignorant buffoon. Speaking of which, a local talk show host named Wayne Allen Root, I like to call him Wayne Allen Kook. Why? He said that Muslims were responsible for the October shooting here in Las Vegas. He said that the Obamas have had gay relationships. This is the same guy who said calling a black person the N-word and calling somebody old are the same thing. This is a guy who claimed during COVID that he had a pill to cure COVID, and he was peddling it on social media until he got a warning from the Attorney General. Another despicable human being, and I might be wrong, but I think he has more ex-wives than Donald Trump. Here is Wayne Allen Kook, who couldn't be further from God, preaching about God before Donald Trump takes the stage.
This is a battle for the ages, a battle inspired by God, a battle to save the greatest nation in world history ever blessed by God. And I will fight to my last dollar, to my last breath. I will give you my country when you pry it from my cold, dead hands. Will you fight? you fight.
Talk about an unhinged idiot clown. That's what Vegas has to offer for conservative talk radio. Nothing but a bunch of unhinged, talentless clowns like this idiot who's, on speaking before Donald Trump, an egomaniac buffoon. Speaking of buffoons, the leader of I don't know if some of you realize this because we have a national audience, but the leader of the Republican Party here in Nevada was indicted on an alleged fake electorate scheme. He is going to be found guilty. I am very confident of that. His name is Mike McDonald. I call him Michael Ronald McDonald because he is a clown. And he is another Donald Trump fanboy who will say and do anything and maybe even break the law for Donald Trump in this alleged fake electorate scheme. Listen to the word that the leader of the Republican Party in the state of Nevada uses. It starts with the letter W in regards to Donald Trump. Have a listen to this.
What more could be said than thank God we're here in Sunset Park to worship and bring back the greatest president we've ever known in our generation.
Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Worship, worship. We should worship Donald Trump. Let's worship a liable sexual abuser. The judge characterized him as a rapist, by the way. Let's worship him. Let's worship Orange Man, who is now a 34-count convicted felon. He actually used the term worship. Do you remember when Marjorie Taylor Greene was asked in the halls of Congress whether she worshiped Donald Trump? Which, by the way, she does. And remember how she had a hissy fit in D.C.? I don't worship Donald Trump. I worship Jesus. You have the leader of the Republican Party in the state of Nevada moments before introducing Donald Trump to the stage that is telling everybody that we should be worshiping Donald Trump because they do. Let me tell you something. I walked into this rally with a bunch of idiots and ignorant dopes. If you have an IQ over 30 and you were at that rally yesterday, you're either a politician or you're running for office or somehow you're making money off of people. The people that were selling merchandise and stuff, which I'll get to, they might not be dopes. They're taking advantage of the cult. They're selling the sneakers. They're selling the Bibles. They're selling the shirts, the hats, the underwear, whatever the hell they're selling. Maybe even orange makeup. They're not the stupid ones. The stupid ones are the people that are buying it. They're smart. The overwhelming majority of people at this rally, I'm telling you, they had an IQ of about 25. I spoke to some of them. I had a conversation with a man. And I said, would you agree with me that even though you might disagree with the outcome, Donald Trump's a convicted felon? He said, no. I said, what do you mean no? He said, well, because he hasn't been sentenced yet. And then I looked at him and I said, does that mean Donald Trump right now could buy a gun? Yes, he says. How can you have a conversation with somebody like that? This guy doesn't believe there are any rules if you're convicted until you are sentenced. How can you have a conversation of any significance with somebody like that that is that stupid? I'm telling you, the overwhelming majority of people that were at that rally yesterday, again, unless you're running for office or you're already in office or you're making money off the rally, selling merchandise, et cetera, you're a very stupid person. First of all, 110 degrees out there, beyond uncomfortable. I saw some kids out there, parents bringing their kids out there. You want to talk about bad parenting. I was extremely uncomfortable, and I had some water with me. It was very uncomfortable. Anyway, I'll get to all that, and I'll dive a little bit deeper into it. But I had some people that recognized me there yesterday, local Las Vegas people that listened to the show. Yes, I don't have just people on the left or Joe Biden supporters listening to this show. I have a lot of MAGA supporters that listen to the show also. In fact, some of them call in. And I had multiple people come up to me and say, you shouldn't be here. I said, why not? Oh, because you talk trash about Donald Trump. I said, so you support dictatorship? You have to go to a Trump rally if you support Donald Trump. Otherwise, you shouldn't be allowed in. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Is that what you want? You want a dictatorship? Joe Biden wouldn't kick you out of his rally unless you were causing a disturbance. Joe Biden would allow anybody into his rally. We've seen the Trump campaign and Trump people kick other people out. I know of people in this city that weren't allowed to go to some Trump rallies or weren't allowed in an indoor event months back because they supported Ron DeSantis. This is a dictatorship, and that's the way some of these MAGA deplorables think. If you don't support Donald Trump or you call him, as I would, a convicted felon, you don't belong here. So obviously I got back in their face and I said, do you believe in freedom of speech? This is public property. I have a right to call Donald Trump a rapist, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. If you think I'm breaking the law, there's some Metro police officers right over there. Why don't you go ahead and tell them if you think I'm breaking the law? Hey, buddy, Donald Trump is a convicted felon and a rapist. Go whine and complain, you snowflake, to the police officer. Now, obviously, he didn't, because I wasn't breaking any laws. I wasn't doing anything wrong, and I had just the same right to be there as these MAGA deplorables did. So they can go shove it. I want to start by playing you a clip that I did with NewsMax. So I want to explain to you how this started. So I'm walking around talking to some Trump supporters, talking to some candidates, getting some video. And all of a sudden, this guy with a microphone and his cameraman come up to me. By the way, I didn't go up to them. And they said, hey, we're with NewsMax. Can we ask you a few questions? Now, obviously, they have absolutely no idea who I am. And in my mind, I'm thinking, boy, they just went up to the wrong guy. And this is a video, since I posted it last night, that has over 500,000 views just on X alone. But I spoke my mind just like I do on the radio. The things I say in this video are nothing different than the things I say, every day, the things I told them on Newsmax. So I want to play you this video, audio, I should say. There is video. I posted it on Twitter. This is my brief 90-second interview on Newsmax. Have a listen to this. For you, I promise. Go ahead.
Stand right there.
Ask me anything you like. I'm very opinionated. Go ahead.
All right. Well, look at me.
Yeah.
What brought you here today?
I think there's a lot of idiots here today. I think 90% of the people here are very uneducated white people. Donald Trump is a 34-count convicted felon. He's a liable sexual abuser. And the fact that these people look at him, it's like a cult. I think it's embarrassing. I think a lot of these people are some of the worst that America has to offer.
Are you a Nevada resident?
Yes, I am. I live in Las Vegas, and the last person on the planet that I would ever vote for is Donald Trump. He literally is a rapist, according to the judge that presided in his case. He has 30 women that have accused him of sexual assault or rape, including his ex-wife, in court documents. What does Donald Trump need to do for these people to say, geez, maybe I won't vote for this guy? He's a 34-count convicted felon. I don't like Joe Biden either. He's old. They're both old. But I choose democracy over Donald Trump. January 6th doesn't happen if not for Donald Trump lying about the election. I guarantee you all these people here today are so ignorant that they still think that Donald Trump won the 2020 election with literally zero widespread voter fraud evidence. These people are cultists. Look at them. Do you see people on the back of pickup trucks with malarkey signs? Do you see people decked out in Biden gear everywhere? No, of course not, because we're not a cult. This is a cult, and I feel like I'm at a Klan rally right now.
And can I get your name for the...
Sure. I'm a radio host here in town. My name is Brian Shapiro, Brian Shapiro. Yeah, everybody knows what my name is. Anyway, you get the logistics of it. The look on this guy's face when I was saying the things I was saying was like he had just seen a ghost. And maybe he did see a ghost because I'm very pasty out in the sun. But you get the gist of it. The interview didn't go very long, and he had just interviewed some MAGA idiot, and then he goes to interviewing me. It was like the opposite side of the spectrum. Now, I don't know whether NewsMax aired that or not because that wasn't a live interview. I would imagine, being the cowards that they are, they probably didn't. But I posted that, and I put it up on my social media page. Why? Why did I press record on my phone? Because the chance that they don't put it up, I wanted to be able to put it up. And I stand by everything that I said in that interview. Why do I compare it to a Klan rally? Well, when you look at the Klan, it is a cult. Their leader, David Duke. I'm not saying that every single person that was at the rally yesterday that's a Donald Trump supporter is a racist. I would imagine there were probably a good amount of people that probably are, but I'm not saying all of them are. What I am saying is it is a cult. What I said in that video, in that interview. Do you see Joe Biden supporters walking around with malarkey signs? Do you see them with the stickers on the back of their pickup trucks? Do you see all the Biden flags out in every household next to their Confederate flag? Do you see them decked out in Biden gear and malarkey gear? The answer is no, because the people that support Joe Biden are not a part of a cult. They could be anti-Donald Trump supporters. They could be just plain old Democrats, and they could be Joe Biden supporters. But they are not a part of a cult. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a cult. And I will explain to you why some more in detail in a few moments. Now, there is a Republican named Drew Johnson who was running for Congress here in the state of Nevada. I treated him with respect, and he came in studio on this show maybe about 6 or 7 months ago. I treated him with respect, even though we disagree on just about everything. I thought we had a good conversation. For whatever reason, since we did that interview, he blocked me on social media with absolutely no explanation, other than maybe he's afraid to talk to me. By luck, by chance, whatever you want to call it, I ran into Drew Johnson, and I immediately started recording, and he completely got scared and dodged me after he recognized me. Have a listen to this. Drew Johnson, you had me in studio, or I had you in studio, by the way. Why'd you block me on social media? Drew Johnson blocked me on Twitter. I don't know why. That was very nice to him. Now he's walking away like a coward. Drew Johnson. Another guy who doesn't want to be challenged. I had this guy in studio, and he walks away like a coward. This guy a rhino? Coward, yeah. Complete rhino. Blocks me on social media for no reason. He has no chance to win anyway. My favorite part of that is I had a few people following me because they wanted to know why I was following him. And they're big MAGA supporters, right? And they look at me and they go, is this guy a rhino? I wanted to get him to all get against him. And I'm like, yeah, he's a rhino. Go after him. He's a rhino. What a coward. At least look me in the face and tell me why you blocked me. He just runs away like the little coward that he is. Great job, Drew Johnson. You're not going to win. And I wish you nothing but the worst in your election. Complete coward. So I went to these booths because it is a cult, ladies and gentlemen. And there are people that are taking advantage of very stupid MAGA supporters. They're selling things for boatloads of money. Do we remember when the gold sneaker craze came out, right? Because Donald Trump's a billionaire, but he wants to sell gold sneakers for $400. At least that's what I thought they were. These are sneakers that you can get the same material and buy these same kinds of sneakers for like $20 on Amazon. But because there's a T on it and fake gold spray paint, I thought they were going for $400. So I went into this tent and I took a video and I asked the employer, which I believe was the owner of the shop, how much they are. Here's how this went down. Here they are, the Donald Trump sneakers that everybody seems to be talking about. How much are these? Sneakers. I'm doing a video on the sneaker. $750. The economy must be terrible if people are willing to afford to pay $750 for sneakers, I'll tell you. $750 for sneakers. The economy is so bad that people are willing to spend $750 for a pair of sneakers that cost $19 to make. So they're looking at me like, well, yeah. And she kind of wants to laugh because she knows. I guess they sold a few of them. I don't know. But the economy must be doing really horrible when people can buy $19 sneakers for $750. But the economy must be awful, right? That's not a cult? Not a cult, right? Gold sneakers to a man that is morbidly obese, that has the physique of somebody who's morbidly obese, who nobody wants to see with their shirt off. But they want to buy these gold Trump sneakers for $750. But no, ladies and gentlemen, it's not a cult. Make no mistake about it. These people traveled to these Trump rallies to make money, to sell this type of merchandise to suckers. Remember when Donald Trump was explained by a general that he called our brave men and women suckers and losers? No, the real suckers and losers are Donald Trump supporters. Most of them middle-aged, ignorant white people that will buy gold sneakers for $750 that are worth about $19. Those are the real suckers and losers, ladies and gentlemen. But hey, you don't think that this is a cult. Well, the table about 20 feet down was selling Donald Trump Bibles. Can you get more pathetic and disgusting than that? Bibles, which most people could buy for free. I guess you're not buying it, right? Most people could get a free Bible from any local church that they go to, right? Most people can get their hands on a Bible for either extremely inexpensive or for free, but not at a Trump rally with the cultists, a la Klan members. So I went to this table and I saw the owner who was selling these Bibles, and you have pictures of Donald Trump and Lee Greenwood. And I think they were selling them for more than $60. I'm pretty sure they were like $75. Maybe you get a little picture of Lee Greenwood and Donald Trump to go with it. I don't know. The official Bible of the Donald Trump campaign. So I tried to interview this lady who was selling these Bibles, but it didn't go very well. Here's how it went. All right, they're selling the Trump Bibles here at the Trump rally today in Las Vegas. Could I ask you a few questions about some of this stuff? If you don't want to, that's okay. KSHP, a local station here in town. Up to you. If you don't want to, that's okay. So I'm a registered independent, and I'm asking people, like, what would Jesus say about somebody who's a liable sexual abuser? What do you think Jesus would say about that? Because I'm not a very religious person. I don't know. I want to ask people that are.
Yeah.
That's true.
No, I'm probably not the right person to ask.
She's not the right person. Because some people have a problem with Trump's name with the Bible. Some religious people would call it blasphemy.
I'm trying to solve here at the end of the rally, so if you could just...
That's more important. Okay, money's more important.
Yeah, I'm trying to sell, so I don't want to answer your questions. I'm the wrong person to ask. Here's this yes, I think she's despicable. When you take a Bible, and I'm not even a very religious person. I'm not an atheist. I believe in God. But when you take the Bible and you're trying to make money off that by selling these Trump Bibles, and then when I ask you, what do you think Jesus would think about this guy? And not only are you a coward and you won't answer you say, oh, I'm not the right kind of person to answer that question. But, I'm trying to sell Bibles here, so can you get out of the way? What a despicable person. That's a despicable. When Hillary Clinton used the term deplorable, she was talking about people like that. A lady with no conscience. You want to sell a Bible with Donald Trump's picture and profit off of that? That's blasphemy. But the evangelical right have no problem with that, right? They have no problem with it. Make money off the Bible. Very Christian, very wholesome of you. So another video that kind of went viral, and all these videos went viral. If you go on my Twitter page, they're averaging like 500,000 views. Halfway through Donald Trump's speech, I'm just walking around, right? I don't even want to be in this. I don't want to hear Donald Trump mumble and bumble. I'm not even going to play you any of the audio from yesterday because he's such an idiot. And he said so many ridiculous, absurd things and a bunch of lies. I'm done even playing his crap anymore. But in the middle of the speech, as I walk out, and there's more people that are walking out with me, and I look behind me, I'm like, holy crap, there's thousands of people that are leaving the Donald Trump speech. Right in the middle of the speech, I decided to take my phone out, and I started to record them leaving, and I'm like, where are you guys going? Why are you leaving? You've been here since 6 a.m. Why are you leaving? Now, I think I know the answer to that, but if you listen closely in this, you'll hear one lady give her excuse, but it's kind of funny. Have a listen.
Why are all these people leaving in the middle of the speech? Donald Trump is speaking right now.
So when we get in,
and all these people are leaving. I don't get it. Look at all these people leaving right in the middle of the speech. Are they bored? I don't understand. Why are all you guys leaving? Why are you guys leaving in the middle of the speech? I don't get it. Why is everybody leaving?
We have to work.
Oh, you have to work. Another MAGA moron. They're all leaving.
Yeah, they were all leaving. She has to go to work. I'm sure everybody had to go to work on a Sunday at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That makes sense. And then as she's walking away, she starts calling me names and stuff, libtard and other things, without having any understanding or anything of that matter of what my political affiliation is or anything. But droves of people were leaving in the middle of the speech. Were they paid hourly? There were rumors circulating, and I saw a Craigslist ad where they were willing to pay somebody $50 to show up at the Trump rally and put on the MAGA gear and all that stuff. I can't verify whether that is real or not, but what I can tell you is a couple people told me at the rally that they were paid. So if I'm going to go by their word, they did say that they were paid. So maybe that's why they left. Maybe they already got paid. I don't know. And listen, I ran into multiple people that knew me. I ran into some people that I knew. Some of them nice, some of them not so nice. But in my opinion, the overwhelming majority of people that were at that rally yesterday are some of the dumbest people that America has to offer. They are cult members. They are ignorant. They don't know how to think for themselves. They listen to every single word that Donald Trump says, and they believe it. They might not like some of Joe Biden's policies, so they would rather support a rapist and a convicted felon. That's who these people are. They're very uneducated people. The majority of those
that go to these rallies that are the big MAGA supporters. They're very dumb. They complain about how much their eggs cost, yet they'll buy $750 gold Trump sneakers. They'll buy a $75 Trump Bible, and they'll be decked out in all their MAGA gear that I would imagine probably cost $400 or $500. That what they were wearing yesterday. But they want to complain about the economy, and they want to complain about inflation, but yet they want to donate money to Cheeto Jesus to fight that election integrity, right? They looked like a bunch of insurrectionists out there yesterday. A bunch of deplorable insurrectionist idiots. That's what they are. So here's what we're going to do. I think we only have one phone line open, even though I haven't even opened up the lines yet. But I want to give you an opportunity to sound off because this is a very interactive show. And that's why I didn't book any guests until later in hour number 2 today, because I wanted to give you the opportunity to sound off. Whether you agree or disagree with me, you're welcome to call in. The number to call in, 702-221-7283. You'll also see the number scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Obviously, if you're listening to it on the radio, it's why I repeat the number. We have one phone line open. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. What did you make of the rally yesterday, even if you didn't go? Maybe you went, and maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you agree with me. What did you make of the rally yesterday? What did you make of Donald Trump's remarks? Marjorie Taylor Greene comparing Donald Trump to Jesus. You had Wayne Allen Root, who has more ex-wives than I think Donald Trump has, preaching God. You have Ronald McDonald, as I call him, who's saying to people that they should be worshiping Donald Trump. What do you make of that? And what did you make of the spectacle yesterday, or the spectacle in general at these Trump rallies? Again, that number, 702-221-7283. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be back in 90 seconds with your phone calls. We'll be back right after this. It's Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Nevada is ranked 48 of 50 states in public school efficiency. Hi, I am Progressive Democrat Eva Olivia Chase, the public school candidate. Cynthia Gonzalez voted for $480 million of public money for charter schools and baseball stadiums. Public money for public schools. Vote and support Eva Olivia Chase for Nevada State Assembly District 16.
Tired of the same old date night? Craving a deeper connection with your partner? O-Box is your escape into a world of romance and passion. Each month, discover a box filled with personalized surprises, exciting activities, and a love story written just for the two of you. Ignite desire, share laughter, and make memories that last a lifetime. Your O-Box journey culminates into a beautiful love novel. Ready to write the first thrilling chapter? Let the O-Box adventure begin. Visit our website, obox.com. That's OBOXXX.com and get started.
My name is Kola Akimbade. I'm running for mayor of Las Vegas. As mayor, we will offset the off-season by diversifying our economy, bringing technology, high-paying jobs, and strengthening our entertainment industry. In order to tackle this issue of homelessness, we need new money because the budget will never be enough. Therefore, we will legalize prostitution and tax money will flow. Today, go to the website, Kola, K-O-L-A, kolaformayor.com, and my phone number, 725-263-2660. Support our campaign and donate today. Again, kolaformayor.com at 725-263-2660. My name is Kola Akimbade, and I'm running for mayor of Las Vegas.
Did you know that 99% of air conditioning issues start with airflow issues? Well, guess what? Pioneer Air has your back. They've been operating for 20 years in the industry within the Las Vegas area, large enough to handle all your air conditioning and heating needs, but small enough to know your first name. Pioneer Air focuses on preventative care, much like wellness checks for humans. They believe in wellness checks for air conditioning and heating systems to extend the life of the system you own. So what are you waiting for? Schedule your wellness check with Pioneer Air today. The number to call is 702-831-4840. Here's the best news. Mention this ad and you'll receive 10% off. Call Pioneer Air today. 702-831-4840. That number again, 702-831-4840. All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Monday. Shout out to my friend Richard Patrick, the lead singer of the band Filter, one of my favorite bands since I was a kid, founding member of Nine Inch Nails. He just sent me a text. He's watching the show. I love Richard. He's the best. Die-hard liberal, by the way, and very unapologetic for it. Richard's a smart guy. He's on the right side of history. So what have we been talking about? Well, we've been talking about my experience at the Cult Klan rally, also known as the Donald Trump rally in Vegas yesterday. Some of my videos went viral. The NewsMax interview I did has about 500,000 views just on Twitter alone. Friend Ron Filipkowski retweeted some of my videos that you might have caught on social media. And I want to give you guys a chance to sound off. It's the most interactive show you'll find on the radio airwaves today. Sean Hannity, Mark Levin, those idiots, they'll take a few MAGA right-wing ass kissers. Hey, Sean, it's Marge calling from Vermont. I love your show. No, I don't need those callers, okay? I love people that listen to the show, and they might agree with me. I think that's great. But Mark Levin, Sean Hannity, these a-holes that are on the radio every day that kiss the ring of Donald Trump, they can all go to hell as far as I'm concerned. The number to call is 702-221-7283. Not to say that I don't appreciate fans of the show, because I obviously do. All right, let's get right down to it. Let's go to Ari, who's first up on PTL. What's up, Ari? What's going on, man? Where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Ari.
I'm
it's
sorry.
Actually Ari.
Sorry, Ari.
No
Go right
problem.
ahead.
A lot of people do that. Most people actually, but that's not a thing. Anyway, I'm in Wisconsin.
Nice.
So I can't actually speak to the insane things that I've heard that Trump said down there in Nevada. But I totally couldn't agree with you more about the fact that they are completely a cult.
Yeah, they really are. They really are.
I can kind of understand a straight white man, Christian man, being part of this cult, kind of, especially the poorly educated variety.
Right.
We know how much he loves those.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's the women. It's that any women can support this creature is
That's
what
I don't understand. I'll characterize it as this. If you're a woman and he says grab him by the P word, he's been dishonest with every woman he's ever been with, he attacks women on looks, yes, I agree with you. How can you vote for him? What about if you're a brave man or woman who served this country and he calls them suckers,
Absolutely.
suckers and losers? I don't respect John McCain because he was captured. How could these people support this man? The excuse of, well, I just like some of his policies. And then I asked a couple people yesterday that same question. I said, oh, what policies do you like? I'll get back to you on that. What a bunch of dopes. I like his policies.
They really are. And like I was saying, the women, it's the women that I don't understand. And back in 2016, 98% of black women turned out for Hillary. 67% of Hispanic women turned out for Hillary. Mm-hmm. But a majority of white women, 47%, actually voted for Trump.
And make no mistake about it, 99% of the people that were at the rally yesterday, and there weren't 30,000 people like these idiots claim, maybe 3,000 or 4,000 people. And some of those people probably were paid to be there. 99% of them are white people. Now, why is that? Why is it that Biden has a diverse crowd for voting for him? Well, it's pretty simple, because Joe Biden isn't a racist bigot. That's why. Joe Biden doesn't attack people based on their sexuality or what they look like or what their gender is. The far right do it every single day, and they're a bunch of bigot, right-wing, evangelical, hypocrite bastards is what they are.
Absolutely. And their little Project 2025 that they want to institute, if they get Trump or any Republican really elected, it will make this nation a nightmare for anyone who is not a
That's
straight,
why,
white, Christian man.
Amen. And that's why we need to keep fighting the fight and make sure that Joe Biden wins in November. And I appreciate your phone call, sweetie. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank your state for actually prosecuting your fraudulent electors.
Thank
Our
you.
state is not prosecuting ours. We're prosecuting 3 Trumpkins, but not the people who sign those documents.
We have
and that infuriates me.
If you listen to the show, and thank you for the call, you're right. It infuriates me as well. We had the Attorney General, who's a great man, in studio last week, who indicted those 6 individuals. His name is Aaron Ford. And I have good feeling about that case. 702-221-7283. If you're sitting tight on hold, please continue to. We'll get to you. We have one phone line open. Let's go to Cece. Cece is next up on PTL. Hi, Cece. Where are you calling from?
Hey, buddy. I called you before. I love you, Brian.
Thank
Chicago.
You. Thank you. I love my people in Chicago.
I adore you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
The biggest thing that really irritated me yesterday, I mean, everything irritates me about him. He's just a piece of, you know what?
You're right.
He is. He says, hey, I don't care about you. I just want your vote. And look at me. I'm working my ass off.
Yeah.
And you don't even give me a thing of water. But he doesn't give a shit if anybody passes out.
Well, you're right.
Safe from the heat.
But again, Cece, you're right. But again, this is how stupid his cult of followers are. I heard people in News Bites saying yesterday, "Oh, well, he's standing out there in the heat, so we should stand out there in the heat." Let me tell you something. He was in his air-conditioned SUV. He gets his fat ass out of his SUV, stumbles over to the podium, does his little rant, bumbling speech, and then gets right back into his air-conditioned SUV. He doesn't care that people were sent to the hospital yesterday. He doesn't care that 16 people were sent to the hospital in Arizona for heat stroke. We had about 10 people that were sent to the hospital yesterday. He doesn't care that it was out in the open with no shade. He could have put an indoor venue together and air-conditioned so people could have been comfortable, but he doesn't care about anybody but himself. Why is it so hard for his cult followers to realize that?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well,
exactly. He's scum. He's the scum of the earth. And the more I hear his voice, excuse my word, hate him. I hate him.
Oh, I'm with you.
So much.
I hate him also. You know who else I hate? Dumb Americans that are voting for him. And I'm not talking about this. There are selfish people out there that are going to vote for Trump because they hate Biden and they want to put more money in their pocket if they're the top 1%. I don't hate those people. I dislike them. I hate the dumb idiots who show up, who tell me that I'm the liberal, that I have Trump derangement syndrome. Meanwhile, these are the same morons who are buying $60 Bibles and $750 gold sneakers. CC, it is so good to hear from you, and I appreciate your phone call, dear. Thank you for your kind words. I appreciate you out there in Chicago. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Chris, who's next up on PTL. Hello, Chris.
Hey, Brian, did you have fun at the gathering of the MAGA lows?
Yes and no. Yes, I had fun getting video and audio from the Cultists. No, I was extremely uncomfortable. It was very hot. I got some really bad sunburn. But all in all, I didn't hate going to it. I went to it because it kind of opened up my eyes, to be honest with you. I always made the comments that there's cultists, but I saw it firsthand yesterday how stupid so many people out there were, and I spoke to them, and I can give you stories to the people that I spoke to. So, but anyway, to answer your question,
you could probably talk about it for weeks, and I'm sure you will. I wanted to agree with you on something. The smartest people out there are the ones selling that merchandise, and to go with your or the church analogy, I believe that Jesus would have been flipping those tables. They're the money changers in the back of the church.
Yeah.
Those people are all selling unlicensed,
correct,
it's fake Trump merchandise. So if somebody wanted to support Donald Trump, they should buy the merch from his website, DonaldJTrump.com. The stuff they were selling out there is actually used to fund, you'll like this, left-wing causes. They have actually bragged about this. People buy this merchandise from China. It's all labeled from China. I called it out on my videos from PAA.
What left-wing causes? What left-wing causes are you referring to?
They bragged on Twitter that they were taking the money and funneling it to Planned Parenthood.
Okay, so who's they and where? Okay, so who's they and where was that?
It was a tweet I read.
Okay, so you read it. Okay, so hold on, Chris. You read a tweet. Yeah. It's unverified, but you believe it to be true. So you're making an assumption that everybody. Hold on, let me finish. You're making an assumption because you read one tweet that somehow that means that all the people that were selling merchandise out there must be on the left, donating it to left-wing causes. Chris, not only is that not true, but I'm shocked.
That's the farthest extreme, Brian. That's the farthest extreme.
Okay, but you have no evidence that that's true or not. Can it be possible?
Selling illegal merchandise.
Okay, well, I read a tweet that these people out there are right-wing idiot swindlers that do support Donald Trump, but like him, they're also extremely selfish, selling Bibles. They call themselves right-wing evangelicals. So no, I'm not going to say.
No, absolutely. That's what I'm agreeing with you. I don't know why you're yelling at me.
Well, I'm frustrated because you're making the claim that those people that were selling all that paraphernalia out there are donating it to left-wing causes, and there's no evidence.
No, what I'm telling you is that's the extreme. If those people love Donald Trump so much, then the most extreme thing that could be happening to that money is it's going to left-wing causes.
There are a lot of people that like
Donald Trump.
There are a lot of people that love Donald Trump, but just like Donald Trump, there are people that actually love money more, and they want to make money and take advantage of stupid people. Let's be honest, Chris. The people that are buying
grifting, Brian, you're right. You're right.
The people that are buying $750 gold Trump sneakers and $75 Trump Bibles are some of the dumbest people America has to offer. And guess what? If they're dumb enough to buy it, then go ahead and spend all your money in your banking account. But I don't want to hear those same idiots complaining about inflation. That's my point.
All right. Well, thank you, Brian. I'm sorry you take it so seriously and you think it's real, but yeah, we're living in a weird simulation. It's very absurd.
What do you mean? Why is it not real? Explain what do you mean by that?
That's what I said. We're living in a bizarre simulation, an absurd simulation.
Why are we? Why?
We had two 80-year-old men who neither one of them is continent. Neither one of them can keep a poop in their pants, but we're arguing about which one's going to lead us. It's ridiculous.
Why would you? Who are you choosing?
I don't vote, Brian. I go to the polls and I vote on referendums and things like that.
You had to. Okay, well, okay. You don't vote for people. Okay. So if you had to vote, would you vote for a guy that's a 34-count felon that poops in his pants, who is a liable sexual abuser, or would you vote for the guy who maybe poops in his pants, as you claim, but is a man with a family, a wife that is loving by his side, cares about his family, and has never been convicted of a crime? If you had to, gun to your head, who do you vote for today?
So I don't get a Kennedy option in this. I just
no,
it's between the third sandwich.
The reason why you don't get one, because it's going to be Donald Trump or Joe Biden. It's not going to be Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and it's not going to be anybody else.
We're going to have an election in November. We're not going to make it there. There's bigger issues than this election. We're not going to make it to an election in November. So
what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean we're not going to make it to the election? And what does that mean?
I don't think that we're going to have an election in November.
Why?
We're being invaded from the southern border. There's
we're not going to
flu they're going to throw at us. They're going to shut us down again.
So
Brian.
we're not going to have an election because of illegals crossing the border. Is that what you just said?
No, there's a lot of factors.
What's another factor?
I just told you they're touting another virus. There's all these things that are going to come together to make sure
we had a virus and people were mail-in balloting. We had a virus and there was still an election. So I'm trying to understand what do you mean, Jesus? We had COVID and there was an election. You're claiming there's not going to be an election because of illegals crossing the border, which makes absolutely no sense. Illegals crossing the border are not allowed to vote. So I don't understand where you're. All right, I'll make you $1,000 bet right now. We have an election in November. Would you like to make a bet with me on the air?
Yeah, you can come check out PAA Podcast.
No, thank you. Have a nice day. I know you want to plug your stupid podcast. Have a nice day, dude. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to, let's see, who are we going to do next here? Let's go to Vivian. Vivian is next on PTL. What's up, Vivian? How you doing?
Hi, Brian. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Hey, Vivian, I got breaking news. Did you know there's not going to be an election in November because of the border and because there might be another virus? What a blowhard idiot. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Vivian.
Laughing. Like,
make no mistake. That guy is they're crazy. They're lunatics.
I know you had so much fun. I was worried about you this weekend, but you sound like you had so much fun. I'm just sitting here listening and laughing.
I had a little. I'm not gonna lie. I had a little bit of fun. I'm not gonna lie.
You actually got to confront these people face to face and listen to them, go back at them, and they still wouldn't come off their bandwagon
All right,
of the crazy
I need your
stuff
advice.
they said.
Vivian, I need your advice on something. I interviewed
Okay, I'm listening.
I interviewed a woman, a huge MAGA supporter, for 20 minutes. I have it
Oh my God.
I have it ready to go. I destroyed her. I embarrassed her, but she was a nice lady. I wasn't disrespectful to her. She wasn't disrespectful to me. I felt bad for her. She finds me on social media. She sends me an email. Please don't air my interview. And I accepted. And I said, okay, I won't air it. What do you think I should have done? Do you think I made the right decision?
I really think these people, after this is all over and done, are going to really regret what they did and how they tried to bring down this country. But we have to get past this election until we can try and put them back on the right path.
I don't know, Vivian. I don't know if I agree with you because I'm not sure we're going to have an election because of all those illegals that are crossing the border. I don't know. Yeah.
That's the most stupidest thing
Dr.
ever.
Fauci is gonna come up with another virus. I don't know. It's going to be a ploy by the Democrats. George Soros is funding. Did you know this? George Soros is funding Anthony Fauci as we speak to try to create another virus in the Wuhan lab so that Donald Trump never gets into office. No, I'm telling you, that's the way these idiots think. That's the way these deplorables think. I'm telling you.
It's just too much. And I was listening to that Dr. Phil soft
Yeah.
interview he did. I'm like, total lost.
I wish I was a dishonest person because I was thinking of stealing some of those gold sneakers and then putting it on eBay for $1,000, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't steal. But apparently those people that are selling all that stuff, they're all lefties. They're all donating to lefty causes. I don't know. Conspiracy theorists, you can't deal with them. It is good to hear from you, dear. Thank you so much for calling in. Okay, where are you calling from? I forgot. I forgot. Where are you calling from? New York.
I'm calling from New York. I try to call you all the time because I just love listening to you and I
well,
love making comments because you are so on point.
Thank you, dear. That really means a lot to me. Thank you so much for calling in. I love my New Yorkers out there. How about that? Wisconsin, Chicago, New York. I love you all so much. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Mark. Mark is next on PTL. What's going on, Mark? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how you, Brian? I used to be in New York. I moved to Pennsylvania.
Ah, okay. My favorite band is from York, Pennsylvania. Can you name the band? I'd be very impressed, Mark. It's a 90s alternative rock band from York, Pennsylvania.
Oh, you see. I'm into 80s music.
Well, I am too, but the band is called Live. They had a big song called Lightning Crashes back in the day. They're from York, PA. Anyway, here nor there.
I'm going to have to find it on YouTube.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. A few things. The first thing being that you had mentioned that someone mentioned that they were paid to go to the rally.
Yes.
Well, that's been going on for some time. And you know who exposed that? The Midas Touch Network actually exposed that a few years back.
They're great.
They received letters stating to bring gear, bring hats, and we will pay you, I think it was like $50 or to $100 to sit and be a part of the show.
Yeah.
So they do pay people to go there. Second thing I wanted to mention is that I don't care what anybody says. MMM, meaning MAGA, moron, maggots. They're either uneducated, they are racist, they are white supremacist, and they all belong to a cult. So it's either one or more of the above, that every member, such as the people that call in to your station.
Right.
The last thing I wanted to mention is that, remember when everyone was saying like this DeSantis idiot, woke this, woke that, and Trump is saying woke? I guarantee you 90% of the people in America don't even know what woke means.
That's true.
And when you really know the real definition of woke, when these idiot politicians say it, it's so damn funny because it doesn't make sense what they're saying compared to what the real definition is.
Yeah.
And the definition is a person who is sensitive and is aware of racial, social discrimination or injustice that they themselves have never experienced.
You are correct.
It's sort of being,
You are correct.
Sure.
I think you can compare those who are racist or bigoted in nature, usually are stupid people. You won't find too many people that are intelligent, intellectual, college-educated people that are so bigoted in nature. But if you look at so many of these people that were at the rally, or at least I did yesterday, I spoke to some of them, I listened to some of them. Very uneducated people, cultists and suckers, people that are buying these Bibles and these sneakers, and they're decked out in all this gear and stuff. And it's interesting because one gentleman that I was, and I'm going to call him a gentleman, that I was speaking with, he was selling some hats and shirts and stuff. He happened to be black. And I looked at him and I said, come on, dude, these are not your people. You don't support Trump, do you? He looks at me and he smirks and he goes,
Right.
I'm in it for the money. And I looked at him and I said,
That's right.
I looked at him, I said, I appreciate your honesty. And we kind of gave each other a high five. And I said, I don't blame you. You know, in this era, you know, you want to sell stuff to people that are suckers. This is the best place to do it. These are the same idiots that buy their pills that claim they cure COVID. These are the same people that say that Dr. Fauci created COVID. These are the same idiots that say the 2020 election was stolen. They look like a bunch of insurrectionists out there yesterday. Maybe that's why I wore the Boston Celtic jersey, because maybe some of them would correlate that with racism. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of great people in Boston that are not racist.
One more thing, Brian.
Yes.
One more thing, Brian, is that when you hear these idiots saying woke this, woke that, always remember what they're actually saying is that I don't care about social discrimination or injustice or racial injustice against other people other than me.
Yeah.
I don't care about them. I care about me. And that's what they actually say when they say woke.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You MAGA moron.
Yep. You're absolutely right, my man. And I appreciate you calling in. I want to be woke. I want to be aware, because that's what wokeness is. It's being aware of your surroundings. I want to be aware of the fact that systemic racism exists in this country. I want to be aware of the fact that there are still a large portion of people in this country that are discriminated against. I want to be aware of the fact that right-wing media spreads bigotry and hatred. Their hatred towards the gay community, their hatred towards transgenders, their hatred towards anybody that doesn't agree with them. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. And again, that number is 702-221-SAVE. Let's go to Joseph, who's next up on PTL. What's going on, Joseph?
Yeah, hey, Brian. Calling from California, and here's my piece about that speech from Trump. Makes me think the way he says that he doesn't care about them, he just wants their votes. That goes to show that Trump only cares about himself. And he calls these January 6th rioting animals, warriors. But me, I say they are still animals. They were born animals, and they're going to rot in prison as animals.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I think when you look at the Steve Bannons of the world, who, by the way, has to report to jail on July 1st, Navarro, who's already behind bars, Michael Cohen, who went to jail. It's interesting. They'll all say, well, look at what Michael Cohen did. He lied, too. And I said, yeah, but he paid the price. He went to jail. They don't seem to understand the fact that, it's not a two-tier justice system. But let's, hypothetically speaking, let's just say the only reason why Alvin Bragg did this was for political purposes. Both can be true. He might have brought up the charges for political reasons, but Donald Trump and his attorneys had the right to defend themselves in court, and a jury decided that he was guilty 34 times over as a felon. So even if you want to make the case that it was partially politically motivated, Donald Trump broke the law. He is a convicted felon, and a jury of his peers agreed with that, and that's why he was convicted. So these people that want to make the case that it was politically motivated, I would say if you didn't do anything wrong and you didn't break the law, then what do you have to worry about?
And also, every time I think about that, every time I see Trump with this speech, I would just say to myself, like, I would rather listen to Biden when he's doing his speech on D-Day, because Biden is the kind of guy who respects those soldiers, even those veterans who've been around and some of them didn't make it. Even Tom Hanks, because after all, Saving Private Ryan was part of it.
Yep.
As for Marjorie Taylor Greene, she thinks that Trump is Jesus. Makes me want to say, if Jesus Christ hears that, I just wish she would just shoot a bolt of lightning and strike her down and strike Trump down.
Yeah, I want to actually create a shirt with a picture of Marjorie Taylor Greene on it that says, Butch Bod, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think we need to come up with a shirt like that, and maybe hopefully some of you will buy it. I don't know. Joseph, I appreciate the phone call, my friend. Thank you very much.
You got it.
Good to hear from you.
All right.
702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Roy. Roy is next up on PTL. What's going on, Roy? Roy, are you there?
Yes. How you doing,
Hey,
Brian?
Roy, go right ahead.
Oh, well, you must have had a fun weekend there, fun time.
It was an interesting day yesterday. I'll say that.
Yeah. Well, I've told you before, you can't fix stupid, and I'm sure you've proven that to yourself time and time again with this. Couple of interesting things. Laura Ingraham is gone from Fox News. Just found out.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah,
Did
I
that
don't
just come
know.
out?
I don't know that just came out. I don't know
How about
the
that?
reason or anything like that.
The evil
But,
racist witch scarecrow. Rawr! LeBron, shut up and dribble. Rawr!
Yeah, well,
She
maybe-
is just the worst.
Maybe now she can be vice president. Who knows?
Yeah, you know what? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's also interesting, he's having his first probation hearing today.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
In theory, he can't associate with criminals,
Yeah,
which is all he associates with.
that's true. While this is going on and Donald Trump has a probationary meeting, jury deliberations are now currently underway in the Hunter Biden trial.
Yeah.
And it is interesting, isn't it, Roy, that if Hunter Biden is a convicted felon, then all of a sudden MAGA world will say, oh, well, we love our justice system. Everything was fair. They did a good job. But if he's found not guilty, then they'll go back to the same right-wing talking points about how it's a two-tier justice system.
Yeah, well, it would be interesting if they could share a cell. But anyway.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, it's truly remarkable that the Republican, you've got 6 or 7 states which are going to determine the outcome of this election, Nevada being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that in itself is a sad commentary on our system. It really, really needs to change.
Yeah.
Every vote should count the same.
Yeah.
But really, really, really pathetic. And a lot of these people who are standing out there in 110 degrees, if there's ever proof that they're stupid, there it is.
Yeah, that's
Anyway.
And yesterday was a perfect prime example of that. Roy, it's good to hear from you, and I appreciate the phone call. Thanks very much, my friend.
Take care. Bye.
Appreciate you. So I ran into a couple right-wing politicians at the Klan rally yesterday. I ran into David Flippo, who's refused to do this show. And if you don't know the backstory to this, there's a guy by the name of John Lee, who is the former North Las Vegas mayor, who's a Democrat turned Republican. He just got the endorsement from Donald Trump. And I think John Lee's a nice man. He came in studio a couple times, and they've used part of that interview in my liking in their commercial, in the John Lee commercial. And when we come back, I'm going to play that for you when we come back. So they've used, and I don't want to give him any free press because, quite frankly, he and the idiots that run his campaign don't deserve it. But they've used my voice and my face and my liking in his commercial. Why? Why are they angry at me? Well, this guy's a big Trump ass kisser, and it did him no good because Donald Trump did not endorse him. He endorsed the other guy who actually did do my show. So I went up to this guy. I'm going to explain to you this interaction and how that went down. And I asked him why he's refused to do my show. I'll explain to you how that went down coming up next. I'll also play you part of that commercial. Not that I want to give this guy any free press because I certainly don't. We'll also take more of your phone calls on the other side. So those of you that are waiting on hold, please sit tight. That number to call again is 702-221-7283. We'll take some more phone calls next segment. Again, that number is 702-221-7283. I ask all of you to check out my new website. We're really excited about it. It's pushingthelimits.live. Again, pushingthelimits.live. Subscribe to my newsletter. You can personally interact with me on there. We have merchandise on there, all that cool stuff. Some of the shirts are selling. The shirt that's selling the most is a picture of me in front of a microphone saying, "Don't be a right-wing buffoon." That seems to be selling very well. So they're very affordable. Check it out, pushingthelimits.live. Also want you to check out my good friends sponsoring this show, Jackson's Bar and Grill, located at Flamingo and Jones every Tuesday this month. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Show your TAM card. You get $50 in free slot play. They're giving out $1,500 worth of gas cards every Thursday. If you earn 200 points, you get in this electrical drum, and you can win free gas.
So check them out. Jackson's Bar and Grill, located at Flamingo and Jones. Great food, great atmosphere. We'll take your phone calls on the other side of the break. My David Flippo story coming up. We'll play his commercial, which has my voice and my face in it. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more of your calls at 702-221-7283. It's Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
My name is Hunter Kane, and I'm talking with you for a call to action for our veterans in Clark County. Who is Hunter Kane? Well, I'm a decorated combat veteran community leader, and candidate for Clark County Commission. Do you know no veteran has served on the commission in nearly 30 years, which is why our veteran homelessness, unemployment, and suicide rates are out of control. So here's the call to action. June 11th, vote veteran, vote Kane for Clark County. Let's rally behind someone who's been in the trenches, who knows the sacrifices, and who's committed to making a real difference. Join the campaign by searching Elect Hunter Kane on social media, or go to www.electhunterkane.com.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yusufzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who can't afford the equipment and food. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
My name is Kola Akimbade. I'm running for mayor of Las Vegas. As mayor, we will offset the off-season by diversifying our economy, bringing technology, high-paying jobs, and strengthening our entertainment industry. In order to tackle this issue of homelessness, we need new money because the budget will never be enough. Therefore, we will legalize prostitution and tax money will flow. Today, go to our website, Kola, K-O-L-A, kolaformayor.com, and my phone number, 725-263-2660. Support our campaign and donate today. Again, kolaformayor.com at 725-263-2660. My name is Kola Akimbade, and I'm running for mayor of Las Vegas.
Tired of the same old date night? Craving a deeper connection with your partner? O-Box is your escape into a world of romance and passion. Each month, discover a box filled with personalized surprises, exciting activities, and a love story written just for the two of you. Ignite desire, share laughter, and make memories that last a lifetime. Your O-Box journey culminates into a beautiful love novel. Ready to write the first thrilling chapter? Let the O-Box adventure begin. Visit our website, obox.com. That's OBOXXX.com and get started.
Voters want safe gun reform, ban military assault weapons, including AR-15s, have universal background checks, and red flag laws. I am Eva Chase, a candidate for Nevada State Assembly District 16, U.S. Air Force veteran, college graduate, progressive independent candidate, fully transitioned transgender woman, former lieutenant governor candidate for Nevada in 2022, where I received 7,212 votes in the Democratic primary. Follow me on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok. Donate to my campaign bot fun account and stay progressive.
Did you know that 99% of air conditioning issues start with airflow issues? Well, guess what? Pioneer Air has your back. They've been operating for 20 years in the industry within the Las Vegas area, large enough to handle all your air conditioning and heating needs, but small enough to know your first name. Pioneer Air focuses on preventative care, much like wellness checks for humans. They believe in wellness checks for air conditioning and heating systems to extend the life of the system you own. So what are you waiting for? Schedule your wellness check with Pioneer Air today. The number to call is 702-831-4840. Here's the best news. Mention this ad and you'll receive 10% off. Call Pioneer Air today. 702-831-4840. That number again, 702-831-4840. All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Monday. Thank you so much for joining us, talking about that Trump Klan rally that happened in Las Vegas yesterday. Programming note for you, we got some great guests lined up later this week. The Mooch, Anthony Scaramucci, is going to be joining us on the show. Donald Trump's former press secretary for, 12 or 13 days? If I get that wrong, the Mooch is going to get very angry at me. But he's going to be joining us later in the week. Eric Swalwell, yes, Congressman Eric Swalwell is going to be joining us on the show. And, of course, we have the elections Tuesday night, the midterms. And the former Nevada Republican chair, she's a very nice lady. She is the opposite of Mike McDonald. She is not a criminal. She wasn't part of a fake electorate scheme. The awesome, I have a lot of respect for her, Amy Tarkanian will be joining us in studio on Wednesday. She is no longer a Trumper, used to be a Trumper. She's had plenty of personal interactions with him. But Amy Tarkanian will be joining us in studio on Wednesday to kind of break down the elections Tuesday night. So that should be interesting as well. I have had about, in my Twitter account alone, or X or whatever it's called now, I've had like a dozen requests to go on shows, and I've said no to a few of them. I did say yes to a few of them as well. I haven't really done the spaces before. I've listened to a few of the spaces on X, but I haven't done too many of them. I'm going to be doing one tomorrow night that should be very interesting, but I'll be going on a couple other shows today. And these are all people that disagree with me, right? Why are you calling the Trump rally a Klan rally? We want to talk to you about that. And it's like, do you not understand what I'm saying? Am I saying that every person that attends a Trump rally wants to hang somebody? Of course I would never make a claim like that. And I have friends of mine that are Trump supporters. And I had some friends of mine that were at the Trump rally yesterday. The point that I was trying to make, and I can't believe that some people struggle to understand the correlation of what I'm trying to say, is it's a cult. The Klan is a cult. This is a cult. Why do I say that? Just go there and look at for yourself. Decked out in the Trump hat, decked out in your Trump shirts, decked out in all your Donald Trump paraphernalia. It is a cult with your Trump Bibles and with your Trump gold sneakers. That's why I say it's a cult. And when I compare it to the Klan, that's what I mean by that. It felt like I was in a cult yesterday. I said I felt dirty after going to it yesterday. That's why I said what I said. Now, I had a guy by the name of John Lee in studio a few weeks ago. He's running for Congress. He's trying to unseat Democrat Stephen Horsford. Nice man, former North Las Vegas mayor. I don't agree with him on everything, but he's been nice enough to come on the show a couple times and answer challenging questions. One of his Republican opponents, his name is David Flippo. He's refused to come on this show. And it's not that people have to come on. There's no obligation, but I certainly respect a lot of people that are willing to come in here and face me face to face and have a conversation, debate, whatever you want to call it. So I went up to him yesterday and I said, Mr. Flippo, why have you not done my show? Why have you refused? And he didn't give me a reason. He just said, well, listen, if I win on Tuesday, then I'll do your show. He's not going to win, number one. That was a cop-out. The reason why people like this do not want to do my show is because they don't want to be challenged. But yet, this guy and his campaign had the gall to use my likeness, my face, and part of my show in a commercial that's been running on TV. And I'm going to play a portion of it for you, not because I want to promote this guy, just to give you an idea of how cowardly some of these people are.
Why does John Lee choose China over Nevada? John Lee raised your taxes, defunded our police. Then he provided hundreds of millions of taxpayer subsidies to a failed Chinese company.
You won't find a more staunch Donald Trump supporter than David Flippo.
I'd have to say you're 100% right.
David Flippo is a combat veteran.
All right, cut it. You don't hear. You need to hear the rest of this propaganda. I wasn't saying that Flippo is a staunch Donald Trump supporter as a positive thing. What I meant it was, and you could use this in your commercial, David, you wear Donald Trump knee pads. You kiss the ring of Donald Trump, and where did it get you? You look pathetic because Donald Trump didn't even endorse you. He endorsed John Lee, the guy that you used in that commercial and you were bad-mouthing. So I guess if you're bad-mouthing John Lee, you're also bad-mouthing Donald Trump. Even Laura Loomer got involved. That disgusting, I want to say some words, but it's not allowed on radio, so I'll stop the sentence right there. But Laura Loomer was tweeting about my show and tweeting about the interview I did with John Lee, and she said she's going to send that interview to the Trump campaign, and
Trump's going to take back this endorsement. Well, obviously he didn't do that. He had the opportunity to do it in Las Vegas yesterday, and he didn't do that. So Laura Loomer, you're a moron, and you have no pull, and not even the Trump campaign wants to hire you because they know what a lunatic you are. That says something. You must be a real crazy lunatic if even the Donald Trump campaign doesn't want anything to do with you. So that's the conversation I had with David Flippo. I met Woodrow Johnson, and he was nice to me. He's never been like crazy disrespectful to me. I probably called him some names, but he represents Flippo and a lot of other of these election-denying idiots. So anyway, I shake his hand yesterday. We exchanged some pleasantries. He was very nice, and I'd like to think that I was nice to him as well. And then all of a sudden, this guy gets in my face. And I'm trying to figure out who he is because he's like dressed up in a suit. And I'm like, who would be wearing a suit in 105 degrees outside, right? And I have no idea. I really didn't know who this guy was. Somebody told me after, but I didn't know who he was. And he gets in my face. You shouldn't be here. You've said so many bad things about Donald Trump. Get out of here. And I said, I have just as right to be here as you do. This isn't a dictatorship. And he kept yelling and getting in my face. It's almost like he was trying to start a riot or something. And he's like, that's Brian Shapiro. He says all these bad things about Donald Trump. Meanwhile, I have no idea who this guy is. And somebody told me who he was. His name is Paul. I guess he's like this far right-wing guy who is unhinged. He's a huge Donald Trump supporter. I guess he got into a physical altercation with somebody outside a bar a few years back, and somebody shot him in the stomach. He's lucky to be alive. I read about that with this guy. This guy's completely crazy and unhinged. But there were a lot of people out there that went up to me yesterday. Some were nice and say, hey, I listen to your show. I don't always agree with you, but and I said, thank you. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. We don't have to agree on everything. Do I think every person out there that was at that rally is a bad person? Absolutely not. Again, when I use the Klan language, it felt like I was in a cult when I was at that rally yesterday. That's what I mean by that. But I did meet a few nice people that shook my hand and listened to the show and say they enjoy my show. And that meant a lot to me because it's not about everybody agreeing with everything I say. It's about interacting and listening to what I say. But I had about a dozen people that came up to me and said, oh, you shouldn't be here. You say all this crap you talk all this crap. You say all these hateful things. It's funny. They say, I say, if I call somebody a right-wing buffoon, I'm hateful. But yet the guy who attacks women on looks, who attacks Gold Star families, who attacks the religion if they don't vote for Donald Trump, that's totally okay. But God forbid I call somebody a right-wing buffoon. That's blasphemy. This is what I had to deal with. I'm glad I went out there yesterday. I wasn't going to. I'm glad I was talked into going because it kind of reemphasized and reinforced what I say on this show every day. There's two different types of Donald Trump supporters in society. There's the Donald Trump supporter that is uneducated, middle America uneducated, most likely white, middle-aged. They believe everything that Donald Trump says. They believe that the 2020 election was stolen. They look like they just came out of the insurrection of January 6th. That's the overwhelming majority of Donald Trump's base. Then you have the people there that are educated. And those are people that are getting something out of this. Either they're the top 1% and they go for the tax breaks, or they're a wannabe politician, or they're a politician, or they're deep in the Republican Party and they know that if they want to stay in power, they have to be all in with Donald Trump. Or somehow they're making money off of Donald Trump and his like. Those are the two different types of Donald Trump supporters. It's not really hard to figure out. There's really no in between. Either you're a cultist turd and you're brainwashed and you watch your NewsMax all day long, or it's about you making money and staying in power. It is one or the other. By the way, Donald Trump did that little 4-second dance again as he got onto the stage in Las Vegas. He looks like he's performing 2 sexual acts at one time on 2 men, if you know what I'm talking about. He does that weird. Okay, you get what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. You get what I'm saying. It's really bizarre. Strange. And Trump, I'm not going to play any of the audio because it's so absurd, mumbling and bumbling and complaining and whining. And we've heard inside the Trump campaign that they want him to focus more on policy. But he's incapable of doing that. He's just going to play the victim, and he's going to continue to complain. He's going to continue to whine and be the little orange bitch that he is. That's who Donald Trump is. All right, number to call if you want to be a part of the program, 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you'd like to be a part of the show, now's the time to call in. Area code 702-221-SAVE, 702-221-7283.
7283. Let's go to Sheila. Hi, Sheila. Thanks for your patience. Where are you calling from?
Hi, yes, I'm calling from Ohio.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And I have two things to say about the thing about them paying people. The ones like they had in Atlanta, because I also lived in Atlanta for 20 years, and they definitely paid those young students to be in those at those restaurants, and I'm sure they were paid, and they probably had to sign an NDA.
Okay, hold on. Let me back up because I'm not sure what you're referring to. What restaurants? What? Can you go detail what you're speaking of? Because I'm not sure what you're speaking to.
You remember when they was like he bought? I think it was Chick-fil-A.
Oh, yes. Now I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So there was one
Yeah.
black female, if you remember, that gave Donald
Yeah.
Trump a hug. And then
Yes.
all of a sudden she's spotted at another one of his events the other day, completely 100% staged. Yeah, we're supposed to believe that that woman was standing there by herself, a black woman, who wanted to give Donald Trump a hug. And then all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, she's spotted at another one of his events in a closed-door event. There is no question that you are 100% right. Let me give you an example, Sheila, of what I'm talking about, okay? So as Donald Trump is going on his plane at the airport yesterday, there was literally not one person at the airport there that was waiting to get a glimpse of Donald Trump. Yet if you look on his Truth Social in the video, he's waving at an imaginary crowd. Ron Filipkowski, who I love, put it up on his Twitter page. He's waving at an imaginary crowd and then pointing at the intern that is videoing him. He does this all the time where it's a scam. He waves at imaginary crowds that are not even there because he is a total scam artist. He points, and he waves. There was nobody at the airport, and I know that. How do I know that? Because I know people that were working there yesterday. There was literally nobody there at the airport. He's waving at nobody. He's a scam artist.
Exactly. That's why I want to get that out there, because there are so many people believing that a lot of the black community is with Donald Trump, and this is definitely a scam. They are not.
I don't know how people can make that. I don't know how people can make that claim. The guy didn't even get 15% of the black vote in 2016, 2020. And when you hear these people on social media, on right-wing entities that say more than half the country supports Donald Trump, where are they getting that statistic from? Let me remind all of you, while Donald Trump won the presidential election in 2016 against Hillary Clinton, he lost the popular vote. He lost the popular vote terribly in 2020. This is not the silent majority. This is the loud, obnoxious bigot minority in this country. That's who they are.
Exactly.
He will never get the majority of votes. If they took the popular vote, Republicans would have lost 7 of the last 8 presidential elections. The Electoral College is built for one reason and one reason only: to give Republicans a chance.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, thank you, dear.
Exactly.
Thank you, Sheila, for the phone
you.
call. Good to hear from you. You take care. I remember exactly when Donald Trump went into that Chick-fil-A. I remember exactly when Donald Trump hugged that black woman that was in the restaurant, all excited to meet Donald Trump. I'm sure it was just random that she happened to be in that fast food restaurant when Donald Trump arrived. And then all of a sudden, the same woman a couple weeks later is seen in a private event all dressed up hugging Donald Trump. That is not by accident, and that is not something that was just luck. That was staged because Donald Trump is a con man. That's right. Donald Trump is a con man, is exactly who he is, and it's the way he's lived his life. Now, I don't know what's going to happen between now and November. I can tell you there's no chance that Donald Trump is going to win the popular vote. No chance. If you asked me right now, I would say Joe Biden wins re-election. Do I wish there was somebody younger in office? Yes. Do I wish we had 2 candidates that were younger? Yes. But I choose democracy. I choose decency. I choose somebody who's not a convicted felon.
I choose somebody who's never been proven in court to be a liable sexual abuser. And there are a lot of problems in this country. Things are not perfect here, and it's not all because of Joe Biden. We've had issues at the border for decades and decades and decades. I want those issues to be fixed. I want Republicans and Democrats to be able to come together and fix some of the issues that we're facing. I really do. But I choose democracy, and I choose decency. And if you're one of those cultists that were out there at the rally yesterday, bless your heart. Bless your heart. I really don't know what else to say. Number to call, 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you want to be a part of the conversation, 702-221-SAVE. Let's go to Patrick, who's next up on PTL. Hello, Patrick.
Hello, Brian. How you doing, man? Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Went through your Twitter feed right now and looked at your videos that went viral, man. Congratulations on that. But I was wondering why you felt the need to exaggerate when you're saying you got 500,000 views, but it doesn't even look
I
like
can
you
show.
broke
Okay,
20,000.
hey, okay, dumbass. Here's what I'm going to call you, dumbass. Is that okay? Okay, dumbass. Here's what I'd like you to do, dumbass. Go on my Twitter page and look at the NewsMax interview that I did, and right on the bottom of the screen, we are looking at it right now. It's got over 500,000 views. Okay, dumbass. So is that why you called into this show to say you don't have 500,000 views? You're a liar. I didn't say every single one of my videos got 500,000 views. If you look at the video I did with NewsMax, it's got over 500,000 views. Meanwhile, you probably don't have one video on your page that has over 100 views. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss with me, Patrick? Because you're wasting my time.
Well, congratulations, Brian. I'm happy for you, buddy.
I'm
hey,
sure
tell me
you
this.
are.
Do you think now Joe Biden's ready to hold a rally open to the public anytime soon?
We're not a cult, my friend. I don't care whether he holds a rally or not. We are not a cult. You are a member of a cult. That's what you are, Patrick.
Do you think anybody show?
Do I think anybody will what?
Do I think anybody would show up to a Biden rally?
So here's the difference between you and me, Patrick, and this is why you're in a cult and I'm not in a cult. I don't care if Joe Biden gets 10 people to show up at his rally and Donald Trump gets 10 million people to show up. You know why? Because the presidency of the United States is not about entertainment, and it's not about selling your shirts or hats, and it's not about entertaining people like you're some sort of stand-up comedian, which Trump is not, by the way. You know what it's about? No, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Hey, Patrick, I'm not done yet. I need you to listen. Patrick, I will let you. Patrick, pot him down. Patrick, I will let you respond when I'm done. You don't get to interrupt me on my show. I will let you respond when I'm done, whether you like it or not. The presidency of the United States is about governing, about taking care of the American people, because people like you had no problem with Donald Trump campaigning when we were losing 4,000 to 5,000 a people a day with COVID. And then people like you cry foul when he was in a trial in New York City. Trump was whining like a little bitch every single day. I can't campaign. And then we learned on all of his days off, except for yesterday and a few days earlier, he's been playing golf every day. So he's not campaigning like he says or claims that he will. He was in Vegas yesterday, and I say once again, I could care less. These are not rock stars we are talking about. It's not about selling tickets. Okay, I don't care how many people show up at a Biden rally. I would rather Joe Biden not campaign and go to these rallies and govern and speak with world leaders and get things done, which he's doing. But you seem to care more about how many people Donald Trump attracts. So you go ahead and put that priority at the top. Go ahead, Patrick, as I pod you back up.
When you refer to Trump supporters as being in a cult,
yes,
I want to remind you it's the Democrats that lined up for the experimental vaccines, did the double masking.
Okay, pot him down again. I'm not going to give you a chance to make your stupid, idiotic statements that are beyond the pale. You are trying to make the comparison, which is the dumbest comparison I've ever heard in my life, to people yesterday that lined up at 6 o'clock in the morning, not for health reasons or listening to their personal physicians, but to show up at 6 a.m. to watch Donald Trump speak at a rally, to buy their Bibles and $750 gold sneakers just to sit or stand at a rally in 110-degree heat. Comparing that to people who went to the doctor's office, to get a vaccine. And by the way, billions of people across the world have gotten it. And in many cases, like myself, saved my life. You are talking about medicine and people doing things for medical purposes as compared to people showing up at 6 in the morning in 110 degrees to listen to Cheeto Jesus bumble and mumble for 45 minutes. Patrick, do you realize how stupid you sound?
Hey, did you hear the Ninth Court just claims or came to a decision that it is not a vaccine? What do you think
Patrick,
about that?
let me answer that by saying this, Patrick. You are literally the last person on the planet that I would want to have any intellectual conversation with on medicine at all. Patrick, you're the last person on the planet. You have no medical credentials. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. And you just compared people going to the doctor, getting a vaccine, to cultists that line up at Trump rallies to hear Orange Cheeto Jesus speak for 45 minutes. Patrick, I don't even know what else to say to you, my friend. Bless your heart. Have a good day. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Patrick is very special. And I get people that call into the show every day, like Patrick, who make those sorts of claims. Those are wild. Those are crazy claims. Hey, if you went to the Trump rally, I'd love to hear from you. We get people that call in from all over the country, and that's proof of that today. If you went to the Trump rally, what did you think of it? Maybe you had a different experience than me. Maybe you really enjoyed yourself for different reasons. We'll take a break, and when we come back, I want to hear from you. What did you make of the Trump rally? 702-221-7283. Were you at the Trump rally? What did you make of it? What did you think about it? 702-221-7283. We will take a quick break. We'll be back with more of your phone calls after this. It's Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
My name is Kola Akimbade. I'm running for mayor of Las Vegas. As mayor, we will offset the off-season by diversifying our economy, bringing technology, high-paying jobs, and strengthening our entertainment industry. In order to tackle this issue of homelessness, we need new money because the budget will never be enough. Therefore, we will legalize prostitution and tax money will flow. Today, go to our website, Kola, K-O-L-A, kolaformayor.com, and my phone number, 725-263-2660. Support our campaign and donate today. Again, kolaformayor.com at 725-263-2660. My name is Kola Akimbade, and I'm running for mayor of Las Vegas.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yusufzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who can't afford the equipment and food. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
I am Eva Olivia Chase, candidate for Nevada State Assembly District 16, Democrat with progressive ideas, including a woman's right to choose, public money for public schools, student debt relief reduction, and forgiveness. As a trans woman and a veteran, I will fight to protect the democracy of our country. Vote and support Eva Olivia Chase for Nevada State Assembly District 16.
Tired of the same old date night? Craving a deeper connection with your partner? O-Box is your escape into a world of romance and passion. Each month, discover a box filled with personalized surprises, exciting activities, and a love story written just for the two of you. Ignite desire, share laughter, and make memories that last a lifetime. Your O-Box journey culminates into a beautiful love novel. Ready to write the first thrilling chapter? Let the O-Box adventure begin. Visit our website, obox.com. That's OBOXXX.com and get started.
My name is Hunter Kane, and I'm talking with you for a call to action for our veterans in Clark County. Who is Hunter Kane? Well, I'm a decorated combat veteran, veteran community leader, and candidate for Clark County Commission. You know, no veteran has served on the commission in nearly 30 years, which is why our veteran homelessness, unemployment, and suicide rates are out of control. So here's the call to action. June 11th, vote veteran, vote Kane for Clark County. Let's rally behind someone who's been in the trenches, who knows the sacrifices, and who's committed to making a real difference. Join the campaign by searching Elect Hunter Kane on social media or go to www.electhunterkane.com.
Did you know that 99% of air conditioning issues start with airflow issues? Well, guess what? Pioneer Air has your back. They've been operating for 20 years in the industry within the Las Vegas area, large enough to handle all your air conditioning and heating needs, but small enough to know your first name. Pioneer Air focuses on preventative care, much like wellness checks for humans. They believe in wellness checks for air conditioning and heating systems to extend the life of the system you own. So what are you waiting for? Schedule your wellness check with Pioneer Air today. The number to call is 702-831-4840. Here's the best news. Mention this ad and you'll receive 10% off. Call Pioneer Air today. 702-831-4840. That number again, 702-831-4840.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Monday. Thank you so much for joining us. Some of you might be watching this show. You might be listening to this show for the first time, and appreciate you being here. Someone asked me the other day, what is Pushing the Limits? What's the show about? And I said, well, the best way I could describe it is this. One segment will have the First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, on the show. And then the second segment will have Jenna Jameson on the show. That's kind of what we do here. I grew up listening to Howard Stern as a kid. Not because of the female nudity, that was okay, but mainly I just loved his honesty on the air. I love the way he interviews people. Could be anybody. It could be Donald Trump. It could be Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden. I thought the Joe Biden interview was the best interview that Biden's done in quite some time on Howard's show. He just has a way of getting good stuff out of people. And the entertaining aspect of Howard, I grew up with him. I loved it. And that's why I went to college to get a degree in communications, and I worked for my college radio station. And everybody at the college radio station, they had their 2 hours a week, right? And they all played music, and many of them, if they spoke at all on the air, it'd be for maybe 10 seconds, right? But I didn't play any music, or if I did play music, it was very rare. I just spoke. I talked. And when I was in my early 20s, I wasn't very political. But I would just complain. I would talk about some of the classes I didn't like taking. I'd complain about the parking. I would find ways to complain about things. And we had this glass window outside the studio, and I was doing my show, and the person who ran the station at the time, he was a student. He comes in, he's like, Brian, I love you. And I said, why? Well, because there were like 50 to 100 people outside the station just looking at me and just listening. And after that moment, because I was thinking of becoming an attorney, at least some members of my family wanted me to be an attorney. And at that moment, I said to myself, you know what? This is something I should probably do. Number one, I really enjoy it. And I'd like to think I'm decent at it. And this is something that I want to do. And that's why I decided to get into radio. A lot of it was because of Howard Stern and working at the college radio station. And that's how I kind of started. And, you know, I got my first job in radio right out of college. Like, I think it was like a month after I graduated. And it was a news station in New London, Connecticut called WSUB. I was a news anchor and reporter, and I did a weekly talk show. And then about a year or two after that, I got a job out here in Las Vegas. That led to a news anchoring job. And eventually, at least a decade ago, I started doing my own radio show. And the show was called The Vegas Take. I created that myself. And it started with the sports narrative. And then it mixed sports and politics together.
And then I got to where I am now, the show called Pushing the Limits. And when you listen to talk radio, particularly on the AM dial, 99% of it is right-wing echo chamber radio. I never really understood why. And what I do on the air or the night before every show is I'll tune in Fox News to hear their side. And then I'll tune in CNN to hear their side. And then I form my own opinions. I listen to what, for the most part, both sides are saying. And then I form my own opinions. And yes, if you listen to the show, especially lately, you'll say, boy, that guy's a lefty, right? I'm very anti-Donald Trump, and I am unapologetic for it. But I am a registered independent. I did not vote for Barack Obama, and I did not vote for Hillary Clinton. Now, I admit that I made a mistake. I should have voted for Hillary Clinton. I didn't really want to vote for either of them, right? And I don't dislike Joe Biden. I wish somebody younger would run. But this is an anti-Donald Trump vote, and it'll be the same vote in November as it was in 2020. Because I hate Donald Trump, and it's not because I have Trump derangement syndrome. And usually the people that make those statements are the ones that have Trump fellatio syndrome. I don't like to support those who sexually abuse women. I don't like to support those that are convicted felons 34 times over in this case. That's one of the many reasons why I will not be voting for Donald Trump. We'll take some phone calls now. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Why don't we go to, let's see, who are we going to here? 702-221-7283. Let's go to Alex. Alex is first up on PTL. Hi, Alex. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing? I just out of curiosity tuned into your show. Let me see if I can bring up all these points real quick. I'm a streamer as well. I'm sorry I'm not on the
That's okay.
radio.
No problem.
But, yeah, it is pretty much a right-wing, bastion, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Although it was enjoyable. Does everybody remember when Trump got caught with all those secret, classified, top secret documents? Which
sure,
it seems like 5 years ago, but but it was so funny that I even heard some Republican talk show host going, "Wow, this guy goes too far," and I was like, "Did I just hear that?"
It's very, very, very rare to hear that from the far right, isn't it, Alex? I mean, it's very rare. It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, and right, and then I heard the speech yesterday, and I was like, "This is just a guy whining."
That's all
and
he
then
does.
He goes, "Oh, I just want your vote." Of course, you want their vote. You're a politician, stupid.
The whiny orange. That I'm going to make sure it's the whiny orange little bitch. That's who Donald Trump is.
Right.
It's too
Well,
cold.
yeah.
Don't you find it interesting that when Hunter Biden leaves the courtroom, he doesn't hold a press conference, he doesn't bash the judge, he doesn't bash the jury,
Right.
he doesn't complain about how uncomfortable he is in the courtroom, he's not falling asleep, he just gets into his car and he leaves like a man.
Right.
Trump is not
like
not
a normal person.
Right, exactly. Thank you for the call, Alex, man. I really appreciate you. I'm a little pressed for time here. Please call back again, and I'll have a little bit more time to talk to you. Let's go to Armando, who's next up on PTL. What's up, Armando?
Hello, Brian. I was watching that podcast this morning on the YouTube. You press all these buttons. I'll look at that one. And it is called Midas Touch, Ben Mycelis. And he was going to talk about the rally at the Sunset Park.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier in your programming that you're going to try to get there and check it out. So I said, hey, yeah, I'm going to watch that, and maybe I'll see Brian over there. And, but Mycelis says, well, there was a right-wing radio station called PTL.
So who said that at Midas Touch? Who said it?
Ben Mycelis.
Okay, so obviously he's a guy that's very unfamiliar with me, and I will talk to Ron Filipowski about that. I do not do a right-wing show. In fact, that's the opposite of what I do.
I know that.
Yeah,
I know that.
Yeah, so that's
so
okay.
I know he screwed up there.
That's okay. He made a mistake, and I don't take that personally, and I will let them know that's definitely not who I am. But thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that.
And then I saw a couple of guys leaning on the fence. I don't know if that was you and somebody else, but Mycelis says, the PTL guy or whatever it is, he's asking people as they're leaving, why are you leaving? Mm-hmm. And nobody was stopping by and explain why he decided to leave.
Yeah.
And the only thing that he got right was because Donald Trump said it was 110 degrees.
Yeah.
But he checked it out. It was 103.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I'm not a weatherman, so I might have been off by 6 or 7 degrees, but I will tell you this, my friend. I was out there. It was extremely uncomfortable. I'm telling you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give Midas Touch. I'm going to hit them up and just let them know that I don't do a right-wing show, which I'm pretty sure Ron Filipkowski understands that's not what I do. But I do appreciate you.
That's cool. Hope you do that.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate you calling in and letting me know, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. 702-221. I got to take a couple quick more phone calls, and then we have Nicole Mitchell standing by. Who are we going to next? We're going to Mike. Mike, what's up?
Hey, thank you so much for taking my call. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's on your mind, my friend?
I have a sort of a two-part question. So,
Okay.
Essentially with this situation, I mean, I'm with you, man. Trump's, we can't have Trump back in the White House.
Yep.
But with Biden seeming sort of weak, in video clips of him and stuff,
Right.
when we have this obvious gift, this gold on the table in the way of Gavin Newsom, right?
Yep.
And what I'm saying is kill faggots, decapitate Nick.
Okay, well, we're not going to use that language on the air, my friend. I don't know if that was intentional or unintentional, but we certainly are not going to use that type of language, the type of language that I would imagine many MAGA supporters use. So here's what we're going to do now. We are going to switch topics, and I've talked a lot today about the word cult. I was at the Trump rally yesterday, cultist, cult. And the lovely lady we have joining us right now, well, I think she would be the first one to admit she is from a cult.
Mm-hmm.
She is a former pastor from a far-right evangelical family. No longer. She's now a life coach and an OnlyFans model, and she got out of that lifestyle. So I definitely want to talk about that word cult. The beautiful Nicole Mitchell joining us right now on the show. Nicole, I do appreciate seeing you again. How are you?
It's so good to see you. Happy Monday, Brian.
Yes, happy Monday. And I might also add, you may have seen Nicole on the Dr. Phil show. Are you kidding me? Dr. Phil taking a lot of flack, by the way, for his interview with Donald Trump, but we don't have to get into that. And she's also, how many times have you been on Jimmy Kimmel? Multiple times, right?
3 or 4 times.
That's so cool. I'm very jealous of you. Envious, I guess, is the right word of that. That's so cool. All right. So, Nicole, I've been talking a lot about, the Trump rally that I went to yesterday. It's kind of I call it a cult rally, a Klan rally. I've used other terms. What defines a cult to you? Like, what is your definition of what you think a cult is?
So speaking from my own experience, I do sometimes think of my religious background as a cult because it requires an immense amount of indoctrination and conformity. There's not room for individual thought. The community, the collective is more important than your individual desires. And it is top down only. Like only the very top leaders can make all the calls. It doesn't matter what you want or what you desire. And if you do not conform, you're usually excommunicated, right? Of some kind. And I think that can relate to where you were yesterday, where if you disagree, it's like there is no room for disagreement. You either are fully on board or you're fully out.
Like, what do you think would happen if somebody at a church that you used to go to walked into that church wearing a Biden shirt? What would happen to that person?
That's like, I think, so thankfully in my church, we weren't like hostile or violent, right? But I think in the different churches I grew up in, there would be very uncomfortable silence. There would be whispers. There would be looks. There would be pulling away. And I think there would actually be long-term consequences. I think immediately people try to be nice, but afterwards, like, oh, now we know who not to invite over. Now we know who not to hang out. Now we know which kids to not let our kids play with. There would have been long-term consequences for sure.
No question. I wanted to ask you about this because I feel like the far right, at least they claim to be anti-porn, and yet these are the same people that probably need to get their hard drives checked out. But I saw a lady yesterday wearing shorts that said, make effing better again. The F word, make effing better again on her butt. I said that's probably going to be a new Melania Trump clothing line. I don't know. But I saw that. I saw somebody selling Donald Trump condoms. I'm not making this up. Now, obviously, this stuff isn't trademarked by Donald Trump, but they were literally pictures, a face of Donald Trump, as if when a man is ready to have sex with somebody, with a woman, and the thing when he's sexually excited, the last thing that I'd want to look at is a picture of Donald Trump. I'm like, I kind of wanted to say that, but it's like, That they're so anti-sex, but yet they're selling these Donald Trump condoms. What do you make of that?
They're the most, in my opinion, the most repressed individuals I've ever met. And I know being raised in it, like we are so repressed that it leaks out in these weird ways of like, we'll make Donald Trump condoms or we'll have shorts with this phrase on it. Like they say one thing, but their body is screaming another.
Yeah, no question about that. So
And I
when
agree with you, Brian. Anyone who pushes anti-porn legislature should first be required to submit their hard drive. I completely agree with you. That should be part of the process.
I completely and totally agree with you. So, like, do you agree with me? Like, my definition of a cult is the MAGA base, or you could say the Ku Klux Klan. It doesn't matter what their leader does. Their leader, as Trump said, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and they'll still support me. To me, that is the definition of a cult. Would you agree with that definition?
Yeah, there's a sense of blind following. It is like you're in no matter what. And I actually think that's part of the indoctrination process is like, and this is how leaders get away with horrible things. You've indoctrinated your people so much that you are loyal no matter what. And they can even say something extreme like that. They can do something extreme and still have a diehard following.
Have you ever, as you being a former pastor and your family being from the evangelical right, have you met anybody in your church or in your family or any of your family's close friends that were Democrats? I'm just curious.
Oh, maybe towards the very end of my career. I remember being I think it was my early 20s. I was graduated from college. I obviously went to a Bible college like a good Christian girl. And I was reading this article about the Democrats. It was written, I think, by the Democrats trying to like shed light on issues that I was concerned about. But they were new, I'd been indoctrinated to not use my brain my whole life that I kind of was struggling to understand. So I actually forwarded the email to my dad saying, Dad, can you help me understand this article? And he said, don't even bother reading the other side. It's just trash. And it made me sad that like I wasn't even worthy of an intelligent conversation. It was like literally go in blind. You don't need to know. You don't need to listen. You don't need to have an intelligent conversation with the other side. We are right no matter what. And that was a big turnoff for me. But that's how much anti-democrat, anti-individual thinking my spaces were.
So I'm at the rally yesterday and there's a bunch of different tables. They're selling a bunch of different things. And one of the tables, and I made a video of this on social media, one of the tables is selling a bunch of Bibles, Trump Bibles, pictures of Donald Trump and Lee Greenwood on the front of the cover. And they're selling these Bibles for $75. Now, as you know, Nicole, and correct me if I'm wrong, in most cases, you can go to a church and they're not going to charge you for a Bible. They'll give you a free Bible. What is that considered blasphemy? I mean, like, I thought if you're a religious person and people are making money off of selling the Bible, that would be blasphemy. How would you have categorized that when you were a pastor, and how do you characterize it now?
Okay, so I have my own personal opinion. I think with my upbringing, as long as the right wing did it, it was okay. But if the left wing did it, it would have been blasphemous. So again, the double standard, they can do whatever they want, right? My people could do whatever they want, but if the other side tried to do it, all of a sudden they were the villain. They were the evil. How could they do that? Again, there was no self-accountability. It was always, who can we point blame at instead of realizing, maybe we're doing the exact same thing. Why the double standard?
I mean, Nicole, that's interesting. Explain this to me because I'm not a very religious person. I don't know anything about Jesus other than the fact that he died on the cross and that he was a Jewish guy with a beard and he liked sandals. I don't know anything else about Jesus. What do you think Jesus would say about the times that we are living in now and the man who was the former president who was being compared to Jesus? Some are comparing him to Jesus. What do you think Jesus would say about that?
The first words that came to my mind were, we've missed the whole point. We've missed the whole point. I really believe like his ultimate message was love and turning the other cheek and kindness and acceptance. And I feel like the right wing I was raised with was all about division and we're right, everyone's wrong, you're doomed for hell. Like we've missed the whole point. To me, love is the whole point. And I feel like so much of what I was raised on and what's being perpetuated today is hate and division, violence. We've missed the whole point, Brian.
Completely agree with you. If you're just joining us, Nicole Mitchell, OnlyFans model, life coach, formerly of the evangelical far right. She's a former pastor. All right, I want to switch topics here, and a topic that I think it's important to ask you about, and involves being sexualized and being a professional athlete.
So there's a woman by the name of Angel Reese. Angel Reese won a national championship. She was a good college basketball player. She's now in the WNBA, and she seems to take a page from the Donald Trump playbook of playing the victim card all the time. What do I mean by that? Well, she's taken a lot of racy, sexualized pictures, right? And she's putting them on Instagram, on social media. She even did molding of her private parts and put a video of that up on social media. Now, listen, you know me, Nicole. I don't have a problem with that. Let people watch it if they want to, and if they don't, fine. If the people want to pay for that stuff, whatever. I don't have a problem with that. Let her do it. Show off your body. Do what you want. But then she holds a press conference a few months ago, and she's crying, saying that she's been sexualized. I have a serious problem with that. You're the one who took that picture up. You're the one who put it up on social media. You're the one who took a molding of your vagina. And now you're crying foul that you've been sexualized. I'm very frustrated with her, and I think she's playing the victim card when I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Because you're in this industry now. You're sexualized. I don't think you have a problem with that at all. In fact, I think you actually welcome it. So, like, what do you make of her statements, crying, saying that she was sexualized when she continues to profit off of showing off her body?
I actually want to know more about her story now, because I'm wondering, because there's a lot of pressure as a woman in a patriarchy. You can only be one or the other. You can be sexual or you can be taken seriously. You can be risque or you can be respected. So I'm curious, as she really allowed her self-expression and her sensuality come through, if now she's taken less seriously in the sports arena, or she's losing press, because like, I want to know more of the bigger picture, because that is a real thing. And if she's newer to this, it's going to feel triggering, it's going to feel alarming, because she should be able to be both. She should be able to be sexual and be taken seriously. She'd be able to show her body and still be seen as an athlete. So I think she might be newer to that, because I help my clients with, they hire me as their life coach, because they're like, how do you do that, Nicole? How do you take off your clothes on OnlyFans, but have a serious conversation on a radio show with Brian? Like, how do you do both? And it's because I refuse to be pigeonholed. I refuse to choose. And I agree with you, Brian. I refuse to play victim to decisions I've made. I can be upset. I can cry. I can be mad. But at the end of the day, I take responsibility for the decisions I've made. And I realize there are different consequences, and I've chosen those. And to me, it's been worth it.
And, just because somebody takes their clothes off, which I welcome them to do, if people are willing to pay you for doing that, then I think that's great. Make a living. You can also be taken seriously when it comes to talking about any issue. I had a woman by the name of Lisa Guerrero on this show 2 weeks ago. She once posed for Playboy. She has had an unbelievable career, an acting career, sports casting. She was the Monday Night Football sideline reporter, extremely intelligent woman. And we talked about a number of different topics, right? And she's someone who took her clothes off and posed for Playboy. And I'll be honest with you, I won't lie. I enjoyed looking at those pictures. She's a very beautiful woman, but I take her seriously. Doesn't mean I have to take everybody seriously that takes their clothes off, but I certainly take her seriously, and I take what you say seriously. You're, very educated, intelligent, well-spoken, and that's more important than anything. And if you happen to be good-looking and you are able to take advantage of that and make money off of showing your beautiful body, I don't see anything wrong with that at all. In fact, I would endorse it. And I say I'm happy for you or anyone else that is willing to make a living for doing that. And
this
Nicole,
is why I like you, Brian, because I think I like you for many reasons, but you are living proof that a man can do both. A man can enjoy a woman sensually or sexually or however you want to describe it, and he can take her seriously, because men will claim they can't. Oh, because you dress that way, my brain shuts off and I can't respect you as an equal human. And you are living proof of that's total bullshit.
Yes,
and
it
so
is.
men who are listening, men who are watching this, you may not love everything Brian believes in or what I believe in, but what I love about Brian is he's able to do both. And we honestly need more men like that. Can you please enjoy us sexually, but also respect us as peers, because we are.
Yes. For the record, though, I am not taking my clothes off. Nobody wants to see that. So I just want to make that clear. Nicole, it's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Wait, was that a yes? Please don't take your shirt. No, I'm just kidding.
That was a yet. I'm just waiting for that decision to change.
Nicole is also a great actress, by the way. She's very good. That Oscar nominee there. Anyway, Nicole, all seriousness, thank you so much for coming on. Always appreciate your perspective. Look up Angel Reese, and we'll talk about it more next week, okay?
I would love that. Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Nicole.
Bye.
Pleasure. Thanks for talking. All right, so before I go, I do want to say this. I love going to rock concerts, and I hadn't been to a concert in a while, and I went to see two really good bands from the 90s, Soul Asylum and Hoobastank. They performed a free show over downtown Fremont Street. The people at Fremont do such a wonderful job. And man, I had such a great time. It was such a great show. Everybody out there having a good time. It's such an escape from the everyday life of whether we're talking about politics or really anything else. So I really wanted to thank the people at Fremont. What a wonderful crowd. Derek Stevens got out there, the owner of the D and Circa, and then the bands played, and it was, man, we all had a really wonderful time. It was really a lot of fun. So thank you to Fremont Street. I look forward to going to the next show there, and I really had a good time. I was up really late partying it up downtown on Friday night because it's a great place to go to Fremont Street and just have a good time, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. At the same time, I was really struggling, and that was Saturday night, by the way. So I was able to make it to the Trump event for the show's sake. But I appreciate those people on Fremont. I want to thank all of you for watching as well. This is pretty incredible. We had about 20,000 people watching the show live today. That's the high. Or Numchuck, maybe you could take the microphone and give us the update. Okay, so it's 30,000. Okay, Numchuck is saying we had 30,000 people watching the show live today. That is, I don't even know how to. He's going to take a picture of it. I got to post that on social media. 30,000 people watching the show live today. I'm very grateful to all of you. If you enjoy what I do and you enjoy this show, I ask that you check out my website. Not asking for much. PushingTheLimits.live. That's my new website. PushingTheLimits.live. I try to push the limits on this show every single day. PushingTheLimits.live. You can buy merchandise on there. You can sign up for my newsletter. Also, of course, all my social media platforms. I'm on TikTok. I'm on X. My YouTube, you can subscribe there for free, which is at PTL Radio Show. Again, the YouTube feed is at PTL Radio Show. My YouTube, if you can subscribe there, I'd appreciate that as well. I really do appreciate all you guys tuning in and calling in from all over the country. I get calls from all over the country every day. We'll do it again tomorrow. It's a show Monday through Friday, noon to 2. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Have a great day. Did you know that 99% of air conditioning issues start with airflow issues? Well, guess what? Pioneer Air has your back. They've been operating for 20 years in the industry within the Las Vegas area, large enough to handle all your air conditioning and heating needs, but small enough to know your first name. Pioneer Air focuses